Are you a single woman who's been living her very best life? Girl, me too. Get in here. Welcome to Empowered by Her Picket Fence. I'm Stephanie, and I'm not a celebrity or a social media influencer. I'm a single woman, a single mother, and a women's empowerment blogger. And it's time for us to come to the mic and let people know what's really good with single women. And you know this show is always going to keep it short and cute. So go grab that latte because we're about to get into it. What's up, guys? So much to talk about this week. A lot of people have been, not mentioning any names, have been doubling back and redating exes from the past. So I had to get into the chat to give you my thoughts on what I and what the streets like to call spinning the block. Spinning the block is when you date someone that you dated from the past and give it another go to see if you can capture that magic second time around. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about revisiting exes. Okay, we know the streets are crazy. Nobody wants to go on dating apps. Options are limited. The situation's getting critical, especially if, women are looking to find that person that they want to build a family with. But is the situation critical enough to start redating your exes? And that is the real question. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Is it a good thing to spin the block and date somebody from the past, hoping for a better outcome? Or should we just leave it alone altogether? All right, so let's get into it. Why might we consider spinning the block? Okay, maybe you have a dating history with someone. You were cool in high school and you dated them lightly, nothing too serious, but that they were, good people. Then you check out their social media, you see they're single again, and you think, well, maybe that timing was off back in the day. And maybe, he looks like he's grown a little now, he's got his own thing going, not immature like he used to be. And you think also about all the reasons it didn't work. Maybe because he wasn't doing that much, or he was immature, or you guys just weren't vibing. So you start to think maybe we can, take another go at it and see what happens. Just a maybe. And you know what? Some people end up being like even way more attractive, not only externally, but actually the person that they've grown into later on, they ended up being way more attractive. So, there's that good human clause. Like, okay, I know at his core, he is a good human. He's not like super crazy. So that might be a reason why we might consider spinning the block and redating someone. Maturity, good human, the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Now, to counter that, I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why we may not want to go back down that rabbit hole. Okay, first of all, and I think I'm going to present a really strong argument on this side, or I'm going to try to anyway, because I'm someone that really doesn't redate, and I want to tell you why. I don't redate because when I'm in a relationship, I give 1,000%. I'm your friends, blah, blah, blah. I'm all in. And I give it a good opportunity to grow and thrive, meaning the relationship. I feel like I am a good partner. Now, once the decision is made and I'm no longer invested in the relationship and I leave, I don't feel like it's necessary for me to date you again. Because while I was there and I should have been valued while I was there, I'm giving 1,000%. You had your opportunity. So that is my take from a personal perspective. But overall, I think that there's always the chance that when you go back and redate someone, even if they have grown and matured, we can't help but fall in on both sides to our old patterns of interacting with that person. Now, another reason not to, along that same vein, is that, old habits die hard. And they may be doing some of the same things that they were doing when you dated them the first time. So you're thinking that they've evolved into this whole other person. And maybe in some ways they have. Maybe they're different in a myriad of ways. But in the ways that really got under your skin and made you say, like, you know what, dude, I'm out. It's the same old, same old. So to me, you could do a lot of things. Like you could cut all your hair off. You could throw all your clothes in the trash. But the question is, do you really need to? Or are you better served seeing what else is out there? And I know it can be scary and the unknown is crazy, but sometimes that same familiarity that made us feel comfortable, makes us feel a little bit safe, can keep us stuck in a cycle of dating men that aren't right for us. You have to ask yourself some real questions on why you want to spin the block. Why you want to redate this guy again? Why them? Ask yourself the question. Also ask yourself, why now? Is it because you're feeling a little bit vulnerable right now and not having that much luck on dating apps, or you may not want to spend the holidays alone this year? Because sometimes us redating someone is based on fear, the fear that we may not find someone that's right for us. And those fears can get us into a situation where we're dating someone just out of familiarity and we end up wasting our time. Also ask yourself, what is going to be different this time? Okay, so we broke up in our early 20s because he couldn't be faithful. How do we know that's still not the case? You can try again, but do you want to redate somebody that didn't honor you before? And I would say if you do choose to redate someone that has disrespected you in the past, your boundaries need to be very clear with them from the outset of the relationship if you're going to redate them, because you don't want to walk into a situation where history is repeating itself. So if you feel like you need to redate that person and spin the block and it wasn't the best relationship, and even though they were a little younger, you got to really think about how things will be different. And if you're doing yourself a disservice by revisiting this relationship. And the last question I want you to think about is, how much time will you dedicate to a relationship that you've already had before? Time is of the essence, ladies. We have no time to waste. We need to leave ourselves open to new experiences, new people, bring positivity into our lives, grow, evolve. We have all these things, wonderful things that we can do as single women. So if you do decide to redate this person that you've already dated, how much time are you going to dedicate to doing the same thing in hopes of a different outcome? So ask yourself these things. And those are my empowerment questions that I have for you today. Number 1, why them? Number 2, why now? And number 3, what will be different? Those are the 3 empowerment questions I leave you with. If you are considering spinning the block like so many people are doing, not saying any names, think about it. And on that note, we are going to get into my very favorite part of the show, which is, girl, it's time to leave. Girl, it's time to leave when his bad habits are on wash, rinse, and repeat in your relationship. Okay, none of us are perfect, 1,000%. But if his bad habits are playing like a broken record over and over again in your relationship life, then you really have to think about how much his bad habits are impacting you. How much effort has he put into trying to change and bring positivity into your universe with him? If he's actually willing to change, if this is something that is not good for you or that you're not comfortable with. And if he's not willing to change or make any effort, then guess what? It's not worth your time. See, we all have habits, and we all have a couple bad habits that we could stand to lose or break. But it really depends on if the individual is into changing them, if they want to, and if there's a compelling enough reason for them to change anything. And if they're not doing that, then what? Girl, it's time to leave. All right, guys, meet me right back here next week. And don't forget to hit that follow button and leave a review. And tell all your friends, because the single girls just got the mic.